Have you ever just sat in silence? No music, no scrolling, no background noise, just you and your thoughts. Most people can't do it for more than a minute because silence has become unbearable. Not because of the silence itself, but because of what rises in it. Your insecurities, your regrets, your doubts, your restlessness. And so we escape again and again. But every time you escape your mind, you abandon yourself. In a world of infinite content, we are infinitely distracted. We tell ourselves it's just a break, just a few minutes on Instagram, just one more YouTube video, just some background noise while I work. But it's not a break, it's an escape, a way to avoid the ache we feel in stillness, a way to mute the questions we don't want to answer. Every swipe, every scroll is a vote to not face yourself. This is not entertainment, it's sedation. You think you're choosing it, but it's choosing you. Your mind, conditioned like a lab rat, craves the hit, the ping, the novelty. Dopamine is clever. It doesn't scream, it whispers. Just one more, and then it owns you. You're not scrolling to connect, you're scrolling to disappear. And the more you escape into noise, the harder it is to hear the whisper beneath it all. The whisper of who you really are. You don't have a phone addiction. You have a self-avoidance habit. Each time you pick up your device in a moment of boredom, you're missing the moment to meet yourself. That moment could be your turning point. But why are we running? Why is silence so terrifying? Because silence removes the mask. Without noise, without stimulation, you are left face to face with the raw, unfiltered self. And it's uncomfortable. Because now the truth comes out. You don't know who you are without a screen. You're anxious in your own presence. You feel hollow. We've created a world that fears quiet, that treats stillness like failure, that believes silence is emptiness. But silence isn't empty. It's where everything real begins. And instead of confronting that, we run. We scroll, we binge, we talk endlessly. We blast music, we seek stimulation. Anything but silence. Anything but ourselves. But you can only run for so long. Eventually, the quiet catches up. And when it does, you'll have two options. Face it or fall into deeper distraction. 17th century philosopher Blaise Pascal wrote, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." Let that sink in. Not war, not politics, not poverty, but our inability to just sit, to be. What Pascal saw hundreds of years ago is what we are drowning in now. The endless externalization of our attention. We've built a civilization on distractions. We measure worth by activity. We fear being alone more than being unhappy. Because being alone forces us to see the gap between who we are and who we pretend to be. And that gap is terrifying. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." That's exactly what we do. We fill the silence to avoid hearing our truth. We flee into stimulation to avoid facing the void. And the tragedy is, we call this normal. When did distraction become our comfort zone? When did silence become the enemy? There is a moment that comes when you finally turn everything off. The phone, the music, the world. And you sit. At first, it's chaos. Your mind races. You think of everything and nothing. Your fears, your to-do list. That one awkward moment from 6 years ago. But if you keep sitting, you'll notice something. The noise begins to settle. The static fades, and something else emerges. A stillness. A quiet awareness that observes everything, but clings to nothing. This is you. Not the voice that narrates your life, but the presence that watches it. This is not comfort. This is clarity. This is the mirror that shows you what you've been avoiding. You don't fight your thoughts, you watch them. You don't cling to feelings. You feel them and let them go. You start to realize you're not broken. You were just drowning in noise. And now, you're learning to breathe again. Let's be honest. Escaping your mind feels good. It's easy, effortless, addictive. Facing yourself is none of those things. It is raw. It is messy. It is painful. You will see parts of yourself you've hidden for years. You will feel shame you've tried to numb. You will face fears you avoided with distractions. But it's only through the fire of self-confrontation that transformation begins. Growth doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from walking through it. The shadows don't disappear when you run from them. They shrink when you turn and face them. Every time you sit in silence, you reclaim a piece of yourself. And that's not weakness. That's courage. And that courage is how healing begins.
Try this. Sit in a silent room for 30 minutes. No phone, no music, no talking, just you. You will meet someone there, your real self, not the version you show the world, not the one filtered through social media, but the honest, naked self. And that meeting might be uncomfortable, but it's the most important meeting of your life. Because until you know who you are without stimulation, you will never know who you are at all. In that stillness, you'll see that the thing you feared wasn't the silence, it was your own reflection. And that reflection is not your enemy. It's your beginning. You are not your noise. You are not your feed. You are not your performance. You are awareness. And silence is the way back. You've just forgotten how to look. But now, you remember. The mind is not the enemy, but your relationship with it might be. You were never taught to sit with discomfort. You were never taught to observe thought without attaching to it. You were never taught to be still. But you can learn. You can rewire your attention. You can build mental endurance. You can stop escaping. And when you do, you begin to experience something strange. Peace. Not excitement, not pleasure, but peace. The kind of peace that doesn't need noise to feel alive, that doesn't need attention to feel worthy, that doesn't need validation to feel real. This is not emptiness. This is freedom. Stillness is not the absence of life. It's the beginning of it. And you hold the key. Everyone wants to change their life. But the first step is not action, it's attention. Where your attention goes, your life follows. And if your attention is always escaping, then so is your potential. So stop. Stop running, stop numbing, stop escaping your mind, and start listening to it. Because behind the noise, beyond the distraction, and underneath the pain is you, and it's time you came home. If this message resonated with you, take one small step. Subscribe. This channel isn't here to entertain you. It's here to wake you up. So if you're done escaping, join the journey. Like the video, share it with someone who needs silence more than noise. Leave a comment below, even just one word. Present. Let's build a space for people who are ready to stop running and start remembering. And remember, you don't need more content. You need more consciousness, and you're already on your way.